If your lamp cord looks like this, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to replace it and add an inline switch. The first step, of course, is to remove the bulb. Now that we've got that, you can squeeze your shade holder on both sides. That should pop right out. Now what you're left with is your socket assembly with the cord that runs down through the lamp. Next, you'll want to remove the felt cover on the bottom. Now, if you do this carefully, you can definitely reuse your old felt cover. So just gently peel around the edges. If you do happen to tear it or something like that, you can just use a piece of cardboard on the bottom when you reinstall it. Now, as you can see, the cord run through is exposed. Next, you'll want to pull out the cord. Since it's cut, that should be easy to do. If your cord's not cut, just snip off the end. Now it's time to remove the lamp socket housing. Just about every lamp socket housing is the same. It's going to have some words, and right here it says press. It also says press on the other side, so that's where you're going to grip it and gently pull that out. Now that you've got your socket assembly removed from the aluminum base, you can see that your wires are exposed now, but we still need to remove this assembly a little bit further out so we can comfortably work on it. So to do that, we're just going to gently pull, and you can see it's pulling the cord. Now you don't want to pull the cord all the way out. Now that we've got our cord pulled out a little bit more for easier access and removal, you want to unscrew switch knob, and that just unscrews. Now we can pull out the cover there. So what you have left is your bulb base, your wires, and your socket housing. Now at this point, we have a few different options. Now you can order this entire assembly. The ones that you order on Amazon or other hardware stores will likely have terminal screws for your hot and neutral wires. This one here, they're actually soldered in right to the base. So the easiest way, if you haven't ordered an all new assembly, is to snip these wires here, and we'll go ahead and crimp on using a crimp connector our new wire. Before we do that, just so you know, the black wire is always your hot positive wire in an AC system, and your white is your neutral or negative. It's kind of hard to see, but this base actually calls out a plus and a minus, so we know exactly where to hook it. Now we're just going to match up our colors when we splice it in with our new harness. But if you buy a new socket set, and like I said, you have the terminals, you'll likely have one brass terminal. Now that's your black hot wire, and the white wire will hook to the silver or neutral screw. Now that's important because if you hook them up backwards, you're going to send positive voltage into this, and you can easily grab this while replacing bulbs and shock yourself. So you want to make sure that you have the positive hot wire hooked up where it should go. That way you are energizing the center tab in there. Since I am going to crimp splice my new lamp cord onto the old, I'm going to access a little bit more of the actual conductors. So I'm safely going to cut the lamp cord insulation here and gently just peel that away. That way I have a little bit more room to play with here for my splicing. Next, I'm going to take my lineman's pliers and just go ahead and cut it there. Notice I have not removed my lamp cord through the lamp yet. That's important because you possibly need to use that old lamp cord to fish through your new. Next, we're going to fish through the new cord. So what we'll do is push the old cord until it's just barely out the bottom, and we're going to use this to pull through our new cord. Now there is a good chance, this is a smaller lamp, that we can just push the new cord through, but without taking a chance, this is the safest way to easily fish through your new lamp cord. To do that, we're just going to snip with our lineman pliers again, a square cut there. Now we have two equal sides here. We use a very small amount of tape. You don't want it to get bound up inside. Now the new cord is secured to the old, and we can use it to pull it through. So back up top, we're just going to slowly pull at the bottom, pushing, and slowly pull from the top. As you can see, there's our connection, and our new cord is through. We'll remove the tape. What we have here is our new lamp cord. So we'll take our knife and just make a small slit between the two conductors, and that's just to separate the ends. The ends are separated. We'll just pull those out a little bit more. The old lamp cord didn't have a knot, but I would tie at least some kind of knot, and that's just for safety down the road. If the lamp cord is pulled on, it'll pull on that knot and not pull pull the wires out of the solder joint. Since we cut off the ends of our new lamp cord, we'll need to re-strip out a 1/4 inch of bare copper wire. We've got our new lamp cord strip. It's time to make the crimp. Before we can do that, we do need to re-splice our socket wire end, so we'll go ahead and do that. About a 1/4 inch on that end as well. Now our socket end wiring is ready to connect with the lamp cord wiring. There are many different types and sizes of crimps. Starting, the most common are the red, the blue, and the yellow. Red is smaller, blue's medium, and yellow are large. For today's job, we're going to use the blue, which is the medium size. Now most splicing tools will be color coded for your type splice. Now since we're using blue, obviously we'll use the blue. Just ready. Now I'm not squeezing it enough to crush it yet because I have not inserted my wire, just enough to hold it in there. So first I'm going to crimp my lamp side. Now I want to make sure that my strands are not going to come out. Give those a twist, insert it into the metal barrel which is inside of the blue plastic there. Now you should have no metal coming out of the plastic. It should be fully inserted inside. That way there's no exposed wiring. And then we'll go ahead and finish squeezing the crimp until it clicks and releases. That is a proper crimp. We'll go ahead and twist the white neutral wire. We'll go ahead and pre-set up our blue crimp inside the blue socket again. Go ahead and insert our white wire carefully. Again, you want no metal strands showing outside the crimp. Start squeezing till the crimper releases the crimp. Now we've got our crimp on both wires coming out of the socket. Next we have our lamp side wires, and we'll go ahead and connect to our socket side wires. Now you'll notice that on my new lamp cord they're both black wires. So how do I know which one's the hot and which one's the neutral? Well, let me show you how. There are a few easy ways to identify wiring hot and neutral. Obviously, if one wire is white and the other is black, white is your neutral, black is your hot. In the case where we have two black wires, another easy way to tell is the neutral wire always has ridges. Now it's really hard to see in the camera, but this wire here is not smooth. It actually has some grooves in it. So if you have one wire that has grooves in it like this one, that is your white or neutral wire. The other one is smooth with no ridges, so that's going to be your hot wire. Lastly, if you have a multimeter, you can actually just put it to your ohm setting there with the continuity on. Now the neutral wire on a cord is going to be your fatter prong. The skinnier prong is your hot wire. So you can take one lead, connect it to the fatter prong, and the other to the wires. And you can also verify your neutral wire that way, just to be sure. Now we know for a fact that this is our neutral wire that has the ribbed or groove in it. Once you've determined which your neutral wire is, I like to go ahead and just mark it with a piece of tape. That way I don't get it confused. If the lamp moves around, I'll always remember which one the neutral wire is. Now that we have our neutral wire taped blue there, we know that's going to connect to the white neutral wire on the lamp socket, so we can go ahead and connect that. We'll go ahead and pre-stage the crimp in the crimping tool. We'll go ahead and insert our neutral lamp cord end and squeeze it until it releases. We've successfully crimped our neutral lamp cord to our neutral socket wire. We'll just repeat this step to crimp in our hot wire. Our crimp is complete. We can give it a tug, make sure they're not coming loose in there. Next, we've tucked back in our wiring into the housing cover. Now we just need to pop it back into the base. Once you've pressed the socket back into the base, it's time to stand it upright and test it out. But first, we'll go ahead and put our knob back on. We've also reattached our shade holder. Those just squeeze in and pop into the grooves on each side. Go ahead and stick our base cover back on. Reinstall our bulb. We'll go ahead and plug in the lamp. When we flip the switch, you can see the light does go on and off. So that's it. That's all it takes to replace your lamp cord and actually add that switch in as well. And as always, folks, if you found value in this video, please subscribe to our channel here and watch our next video here.